So the basic structure of the fighting phase is a I go, you go sort of way of doing things. So I'll pick any of my 4 family members, and of course if we were playing 2 players, we'd each control 2 of them, 4 players would each control 1. And that family member will get to do 2 actions, but I can't do the same action twice. Actions are pretty basic. You can move, and diagonal movement is generally allowed. And you can even move through enemies, but it costs an extra movement point. You can attack, so with melee you have to be adjacent to them. With range, you can shoot as far as your accuracy plus 3. So, for example, Maddox has 2 accuracy, so he can shoot 5 spaces. If there was treasure, I could pick it up. There's sometimes other actions you can resolve. Using your talent costs a family point and also one of your actions. And the final thing I can do is take an offensive or defensive stance. The interesting thing about those is they provide bonus dice. Basically, the next time you make that kind of roll, so an attack roll or a defense roll, but they do go away at the beginning of your turn for defense, at the end of your next turn for attack. But they have to be your second action for the turn. So you basically have to end your turn doing a bonus, setting yourself up for either defending yourself or for a better attack next turn. Now, at the very beginning of each fighting phase, when I start a new fight, each of my characters gets a free action, and then we go into our regular I go, you go kind of thing. And then we go into our regular I take a turn, they take a turn sort of thing. And I will say, I take one family member takes a turn, and then all of the enemies in the leftmost group take a turn. So in this case, after one of us goes, both ferrets will activate, and then all the rest of the family will go since there are no other monsters. So in this case, I think they're all going to take an offensive stance. Well, I guess no, they don't need to all do it. So let's see, Maddox and Joan are the ones being targeted, so they'll take defensive stances. And both the ones not being targeted will take offensive stances to get ready to hit these guys as hard as they can. Now, going into the real action phase, I'm going to activate the dad first. He hits pretty hard, has a good chance of getting one of these guys. And remember, number 1 is targeting Maddox, who only has 6 health, and number 2 is targeting Joan. So I think she's going to be able to take care of herself better. So Dad's going to go 1, 2 spaces to get adjacent to the ferret. And I will note that if the ferret was facing directly away from me, so if I'd gotten like right behind him, which wasn't really possible here, I would actually increase the color of my damage die by 1, so I'd have a better chance of defeating him. So the ferret only has 1 agility and 2 hit points, so I have to roll a single starburst, but let me show you how combat rolling works and how you build your dice pool. So you have 3 basic things you add for each attack. You've got your character's basic die, which in here is a light green die. You've got your weapon's basic die, which here is a light blue die. Both of those mainly determine your chance of hitting and also using special powers, like the bat has the Cripple 1 ability. And then finally, your actual damage capacity is determined by your strength or your accuracy. So I'm going to do a light orange damage die, a light green and light blue sort of attack die. And then additionally, if you've taken an offensive or defensive stance, you get a bonus. So here I'm getting 1 turquoise die, and then it's going to go down because, again, once you use that die, it goes away. Now additionally, I'm going to roll the defense die for the ferrets, which in this case is a tan die. So I end up with 5 dice. I've got my turquoise, which rarely gives you anything, but basically the diamonds will fire off special abilities. The starburst, what I need to hit, again here they have agility 1, so I need at least 1 of those. The defense die has some things. This cancels a hit, so they dodge. This cancels a damage, and this changes the target. In this case, it's kind of fun. When you roll one of these and you're attacking a monster, they switch their target to you because they're mad that you hit them, which I love. And here's my my attack die, my damage die. And you'll see that I do between 1 to 4 damage, so pretty good chance I'll defeat this ferret right out if I hit him. So let's see how Bill does. I need a hit on the ferret. Okay, so I got 1 hit, and you note that he does not have a dodge to cancel it. He is canceling, where's that shield? 1 of my attack damage, though, so 3 becomes 2. I additionally get a diamond, which would let me use the cripple ability, basically put a debuff on him. But in this case, remember each of the ferrets only has 2 life, and he's taken 2 damage. So this ferret is defeated straight out, and Maddox is no longer being targeted. Hooray! Now, in the full campaign game, I would put this standee on Bill's character sheet and basically would represent him getting some experience and stuff. But here it doesn't matter. We will get a chance to potentially get some equipment at the end, but tracking experience for one mission doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so now that I've activated one family member, I do have to activate a ferret. So this guy's going to come toward his target, Joan. And it only takes 2 of his 5 speed, but melee characters want to be close to as many targets as possible, so they could potentially hit a whole bunch of them. So he's going to actually move 2 more there. That's 4 of his 5 movement. Normally that wouldn't matter that he has 1 left, but he does have hit and run, so he'll try to move away after attacking. Now his dice pool is a lot simpler. We've got a dark blue die and a single turquoise die. Remember, he doesn't get a damage die. He's just looking for starburst hit symbols. And Joan just has a tan defense die. And Joan over here has a tan defense die, but don't forget she took a defensive stance, so she's going to take that away, but gain a second defense die. So we got a dark blue, a turquoise, and 2 tan defense. Let's see if this ferret gnaws our mom. Aha, beautiful. So her dodge cancels his 1 hit, which means he does no damage to her at all. All right, next I think Joan wants a little bit of revenge, so she'll go. For her first action, she's going to move behind the ferret, because remember, if you get directly behind an enemy, your strength or accuracy goes up by 1 level, so you tend to do more damage. And she's got a light green basic attack die, just like her husband. She's got a green die for her switchblade. She's got no combat bonus, and normally she'd roll a dark yellow strength 2 die, but because she's attacking from behind, she's getting a strength 3 die, a light orange die. We've got these 3, add in the tan die for his defense, and as briefly to look at the knife's ability, if we get at least 1 star symbol and no hits were rolled, so if she misses, she gets an immediate second attack. So she has a chance to stab him again if she doesn't get him the first time. So here we go for Joan's attack. Okay, so let's see, she did hit. And oh my gosh, way more than enough damage even with the shields. We again don't need to use any of the special abilities. Ferret number 2 is defeated, and as quickly as that, we've done our first battle. Now we draw from the drop deck at the end of the battle for each monster token we defeated. So not for each monster overall, but the number of tokens, which is just 1 here. So here, we get a monster trophy. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't matter much in a one-off mission, but it's cool in that we would unlock new items and abilities from having this monster trophy if we were playing in the campaign. So, not going to mean much here, but just kind of a cool glimpse of things to come. And as quickly as that, we're back into another exploring phase. Now, just to remind you, we can't use abilities during the exploring phase, so the big one to remember is that Joan's healing still costs action, so if people had been hurt, she could not heal them right now. She'd have to wait until another combat. I don't know how that makes sense thematically, but I get the balance idea there. So we can go up or down. We've got the split. Let's go down for now. We'll do kind of a similar placement again of melee in front. And getting onto our drawing phase as we open the door. We've got tile 6A. Let's see if we get our locked door. We've got another number 4, that was the ferrets. Some treasure, and a different monster, number 5. So we come into a lovely, bloody dining room. But note that we did not draw any doors. So here, another kind of fun, varied thing happens. We're going to draw 1 more map tile immediately and have like sort of a double door encounter. Okay, so here we're getting 2A, and I guess we'll pick which way we want to go. In this case, 2A is just a little hallway. But we'll draw 3 fate tokens for it. So we've got the locked door. There we go. There's the door to the basement that we needed. Get another treasure. And we get a trap. Now that we've done this, we automatically add doors to any places that didn't have a door yet. So we'll have our remaining 2 map tokens over there. And now we'll go ahead and spawn guys in here. So monster 4 are 2 rabid ferrets again, but monster token 5 is 2 rabid ferrets and a rolling pin lady. Oh gosh, I haven't even fought her yet. So we set up our rabid ferrets like before, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first one's attacking Evelyn, and Evelyn as well, and Bill, and oh my gosh. Alright, so we better defend Evelyn well, because she's going to be in a lot of trouble. Then we additionally have the rolling pin lady. Oh man, 8 health, a lot of attack. Hit and run again. She has some extra damage. You can stun us, and nothing about this is fun. And the rolling pin lady has 8 health, and she's going to be targeting Joan. Note, by the way, that even though the ferrets spawned from different tokens, all 4 of them still become the first monster group. So they're all going to activate at once. And then after my second family member goes, we'll activate our rolling pin lady. Okay, rolling to spawn these fun people. Ferret number 1. He's going to be at 2 and 4 next to the table. Ferret number 2 will be at 5, 1. Oh man, right by the door, ready to attack Evelyn pretty quickly. Ferret number 3 will be at 3, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I guess closest would be there, because again, they can't be on the obstacle. And finally, ferret number 4 will be at 2, 2, so right in the corner, ready to attack. And then our freaky little rolling pin lady will be, oh my gosh, like right there. Just, what is she doing hiding in a corner with ferrets infesting her house? Come on, lady. We also roll for the treasure token. That's going all the way down here by the cabinet. And over here to the hallway, the second treasure token. So here we'll just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be right there. And this trap, which people can be shoved onto, or we can shove enemies onto, will be 4 right there. All right, so for our initial action, by the way, I should have taken these down at the end of the last one. Avalyn's definitely going to get an extra defense, because, man, she's getting attacked a lot. And I think everybody else is going to attack. No, actually, you know what? I'm not going to have, I'm actually not going to have Bill attack, because instead I want him to use a Fatherly Protector. That's going to cost 1 of his 5 family points, but he gives the card to an adjacent family member. In this case, it'll be Evelyn, and she's going to get a brown defense die, one of the best ones, to go with her white defense die against every attack for this round. So he gets 4 family points back since he spent 1 out of his 5. All right, so looking at this little fracas, I think we want to defeat the ferrets first and then gang up on the rolling pin lady. Now, I could have Bill go first, but Joan's already next to a ferret, so let's just have her attack. And the question is, does she want to use an action to move around behind him to get the damage bonus, or does she want to just attack right now and then maybe up her own defense in advance of the rolling pin lady attacking her? Looking at our dark yellow die, it's got 2 sides that don't do at least 2 damage, so we're going to risk it and have her stay there and then up her defense. So she's got a light green, a dark green, her dark yellow damage die, and the rabid ferret's defense die. Plus, almost forgot her turquoise die from going into an offensive stance at the beginning of the attack. Ooh, nice. Oh, wait, no, not nice. So she did miss the attack because even though she rolled a hit, the ferret rolled a dodge. But don't forget, her knife has the ability with at least 1 star. If no... actually, it says if no stars were rolled, attack again. So I think it doesn't apply if stars were rolled, but they dodged it. So she doesn't get a second attack. That's too bad. And note that she can't attack again because you can't perform the same action twice on your turn. So instead, she's going to boost her own defense before the rolling pin lady attacks her. Okay, now we get to our rabid ferrets. First one, these can each move 5 once to attack Evelyn. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, I think, yeah, the rule said he can kind of like cut the corner, just cost an extra movement. So that would be 4, 5. And he would get to Evelyn that way. Now he's got a dark blue and a turquoise. She would usually just get a white, but because her dad's helping her, she gets a brown. And because she took a defensive stance, she gets a tan die. Although this is only for the first ferret attack, not any other ones later in the round. All right, some nice defense. So in this case, remember the ferrets deal damage equal to the number of hits they rolled, and they ignore defense and agility, but they don't ignore dodge results, so she did cancel his attack entirely. Ferret number 2 is also after her, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same roll as before, except she is now not in a defensive stance. It only applies to the first attack, but her dad's protection continues. Okay, and a double diamond, but ferrets don't have any abilities for diamonds, so that's still a miss. Ferret 3 is also coming after her. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if a ferret can't reach their target, they will attack someone else along the way. So here he's going to attack Bill, who is not in a defensive stance and just gets his base brown die. And, oh no, 2 damage from the ferret. Ouch. Bill does have the most life of any family member, but his 10 is now down to 8. Let's see, the ferret did have hit and run, so he'll go and run 1 away because he only used 4 of his movement. And finally, ferret number 4 wanted to attack Bill the entire time, so he's going to go right there. We do our same roll, hopefully with better results. Oh my gosh, no, not at all. So Bill does take 2 more damage, gosh, from just a ferret, but the ferret also changes its target. Bill's down to 6 life already, not great. And like we said before, when the ferret's getting attacked, he'll change to the attacker, but in this case, we just draw a new target, and it is Joan. Okay, finally we get to our rolling pin lady. Oh, actually, sorry, that ferret has 4 movement left. He wants to get as far away from people as possible, so actually I think he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the rolling pin lady is going to attack from here. She's got a dark blue, a light green, a turquoise, light yellow damage, and can do bop on the head with 2 diamonds. Now, Joan would normally only get 1 tan defense, but she gets another one from her defensive stance. And let's see. Okay, so in this case, oh, no, the lady did not hit because Joan's dodge canceled her only hit symbol. If she had, she would not have had enough diamonds to activate her ability, and Joan would have only taken 1 damage, but no damage in this case. And then she moved 2 to get there. She also has hit and run, so we'll just say she goes straight back from her target. Oh, man, I totally forgot. Sorry, we should have activated all the ferrets and then done a second family member. Now, we wouldn't have attacked the rolling pin lady, so that's okay. I think we'll just have Maddox activate. Now, there is a ferret right here behind Evelyn, but note that if you ever try to attack with a ranged weapon when somebody's right next to you, you add a little obstacle die that could make the attack miss entirely. So I think he's going to move in with his speed of 4. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And he'll go ahead and attack ferret number 3 here. So Maddox has a dark green die and a light green die from his slingshot. He has 1 turquoise offensive stance, and his accuracy is 2, so he gets a dark yellow damage die. We add the ferret's tan defense to that. Oh, great hit. So that's a hit, no defense. The 2 stars would have let him blind the ferret, but he doesn't need it because he did 2 damage, and the ferret is done. Nice job there, Maddox. Next we're going to have Evelyn go, and just a reminder, after Maddox, the rolling pin lady would have actually gone. So we're going to have Evelyn go, and, I think she can just stay in the room. Actually, she can get the damage bonus. So she'll go here, here, here. She doesn't want to be adjacent to the guy, but she is in a direct line, so she will get +1 to her accuracy, bringing it from a weak light yellow to a dark yellow damage die. And she'll go and use her Teen Rager ability for 1 of her family points, leaving her with 4. And that means she's going to roll her damage die twice and keep the better result. So she's got a light blue, dark green from her crude slingshot, no offensive stance. I've given her 2 dark yellow damage dice. She'll pick which one she wants to use. And, of course, the ferret's 1 tan defense. Oh, my gosh. Well, that's a great hit. The ferret tried to cancel 1 hit, but we got 2 anyway. Both damage dice rolled a 3, more than enough to defeat him. So that's ferret number 2 gone. That leaves only ferret number 1, ferret number 4 hiding over here, and then the rolling pin lady. Okay, last activate is Joan. I think she's going to use her nurse ability, so use 1 of her 6 family points. She has more than everybody else. And she can roll a light green die to herself or an adjacent family member, and Bill is right next to her. And they gain hit points equal to the number of symbols on the die +1. So here we go. Okay, so that's 1 symbol +1, so Bill is getting 2 life back to 8 out of 10. For her second action, she's not adjacent to anybody, so she could take an unobstructed shot with her water pistol at the rolling pin lady, or an obstructed shot at the ferret. And I think somebody else will be able to take care of the ferret next turn, so let's go ahead and shoot at the rolling pin lady. All right, now Joan's pistol is a little bit different than most weapons. First, note that it has a -1 damage modifier, so whatever hits I roll, it's going to do 1 less. But for 2 stars, it gets to do damage 1 of an element type. And remember, I have loaded up with sulfuric acid, which has this poison ability. So basically, it's going to be +1 damage if I get 2 stars. Now, additionally, some monsters would be vulnerable and do additional damage based on the element type, although the rolling pin lady sadly is not. But if I attack, for example, a ferret, which does have a +1 to the acid damage, then if I rolled 2 stars, I'd do 1 damage +1 because they're vulnerable to acid, so 2 bonus damage from the stars. So with her pistol, she's got light blue, light green, dark yellow accuracy damage die, no turquoise bonus dice, and she gets, it's a miss, because look, her dodge cancels out her only hit symbol. Now, something I didn't do last time because the battle ended in 1 round, but at the end of each round, I roll a die, and if I get a 1, I have to damage somebody. Nope, I'm okay. All right, so going into our next round, I think Bill seems like the obvious one to activate first. He's next to Joan, so he can protect her because both this ferret and the rolling pin lady are targeting her, and he can also attack ferret number 1. So he will spend a family point that leaves him with only 3 to protect Joan in this case. And then he'll attack the ferret next to him. He's got light blue, light green, and a light orange damage die. Ferret's got 1 defense. And oh man, I totally forgot an important rule. Every time a character defeats an enemy, they get a free attack stance bonus automatically. So in this case, Maddox and Avalon are the ones who defeated them, so they'll have a +1 turquoise die for their first attack of this round. But we're still going with Bill first. Let's see if he can hit this ferret. No, he cannot. That's a lot of damage, but without any hit symbols, it's meaningless. Okay, speaking of the ferret, he's going to come over and attack Avalon. So that was 3 movement. He'll have 2 left for his hit and run. But for now, let's get to Bill attacking ferret number 1. And oh, awesome. So 2 hits does get by the 1 dodge. 4 damage certainly destroys it. And this time we won't forget to give the 1 offensive stance bonus from defeating an enemy. And Avalon's got 1, and Maddox has 1 as well. Okay, next we have a ferret activation. So this guy wants to get to Joan. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And he will have 1 movement left to run away with. Joan's got a bonus brown defense die from Bill. In this case, it didn't do much. Okay, so that's 1 hit. Remember, the ferret ignores defense. He only cares about dodges. And he'll also change his target. So Joan is down to 7 life, not super concerned yet. And the ferret, if he's still alive next turn, will now be targeting Maddox. All right, I think it makes sense for Joan to go next so she can attack this ferret and then boost her defense. So attacking with her switchblade this time. I dodged your only hit symbol, so it's a miss. But you will boost her defense to prepare for the attack that's about to come. Speaking of it, wait. Ferret moved 1, 2, 3, 4, so he should move 1 away. And now Rolling Pin Lady will have 2 movement to move away back to her corner after this. And Joan has lots of defense, +1 tan from her defensive stance and +1 brown from Fatherly Protector. But it is all for nothing. Now, luckily, only 1 damage was done from the Rolling Pin Lady, but still, Rolling Pin Lady changes her target, but nothing else happens. That takes Joan down to 6 life. The parents are not doing so great. And Rolling Pin Lady decides to attack. Oh, it's another Joan. Well, there you go. All right, so we've got Maddox and Avalon left. I think Maddox is going to try to blast the Rolling Pin Lady. So he'll go 1, 2, 3. You can move through enemies. 4. Oh, wait, no, that would put him right in next to her, which would give her a white defense die. So maybe he doesn't care about... Yeah, you know what? He's going to stay where he is and get an offense bonus, I think. Or he could spend 1 of his tokens to add a token to a bottle rocket. The only negative for this is that it targets a random monster, so it might hit the ferret instead, but that's not too terrible a thing. So yeah, he's going to use his Fireworks Tinkerer ability, losing 1 of his 5 family points. And that's going to let him build an ammo on his bottle rocket. So this is a light blue attack die, gets a free turquoise, can pierce enemy shields rolled, and gets +1 damage automatically. And you'll go ahead and shoot that at the rolling pin lady. Or, sorry, that's right, we're going to find out. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, rolling pin, 4, 5, 6, ferret. Hey, that's what we wanted. So he's got light green, he's got green, he's got 2 turquoise, a dark yellow damage die, and then the rolling pin lady's brown defense. Okay, gosh. That was a horrific roll. And it missed, but he would have done 0 damage. Oh, no, that's right. He gets +1 damage automatically, but here it doesn't matter, so, it's a total waste of one of his bottle rockets. Okay, the only character left is Avalon. Let's see if she can get back in the fray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, because then she'd give the rolling pin lady a bonus. So she'll go right here, I think. And she does not do too much damage, so I think she'll attack the ferrets. Yeah, I mean, she has a, 50-50 chance of defeating them without using her ability. Well, let's just go with it. And don't forget she has a turquoise bonus from defeating the ferret last turn. Bam! Okay, and she's going to get another turquoise bonus for defeating this ferret. Definitely good the parents brought their children because they are the stars of this fight. Alright, now that only the rolling pin lady is left, she's going to activate first. So let's have Bill. I don't think he can afford to keep on protecting people, so I think he's just going to walk behind her and try to wallop her with his bat. Now, he does have 1 turquoise die in here, and then he also upgrades to the dark orange die, the best damage die I have, at least in this version, because he's behind her. Come on, give me something good. Okay, good. He hits her. Does 3 damage. That's great. That's almost half of her life. And then he cripples her 1, and her target changes to be Bill. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now, cripple, by the way, means she can't move on her next activation, which doesn't make much of a difference here. She's just going to turn around and attack him. And here she goes with Bill's brown defense die. Oof. Let's see, she hits twice. 1 diamond does not do any power, but she does do just 1 damage to him. Not too bad. And she had changed her target to him, but now she's doing a random one from the defense dice, but it's still Bill. Well, if she's going to turn around and present her back to Joan, Joan's certainly going to take advantage of that. So here she goes with her knife with the damage bonus from being behind. All right, so this time she did legitimately roll no hits, and she got at least 1 star. So she's going to activate the knife's ability to attack again. Nice. So she hits. The rolling pin lady will change her target, but that's 3 more damage. Rolling pin lady only has 2 life left. And for her second action, I think Joan's going to nurse herself. Leaves her with 4 family points. And she recovers 2 life, back to full. Okay, let's see if Avalon or Maddox can finish her off. Avalon will be first. Oh, she does hit for 0 damage. And with her defense. Now, I'll note that Avalon could use that 1 star to get +1 damage, but the shield will cancel it out, so she still does none. But she will go ahead and take an offensive stance for next turn, just in case. And Maddox is taking his slingshot for a spin. No hit symbol. Let's roll a d6 to end the round. And no ones. Nobody got hurt automatically. All right, let's see. Who has the best chance of defeating her? Avalon's the only one who's got an offensive stance ready. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with her before the rolling pin lady activates. And I think she'll spend 1 to activate Teen Rager, giving her 2 damage dice rolls and picking the better one. Okay, so a bunch of dice, 2 yellows, pick the better. Oh man, that would have finished her off, but I mean, I didn't even get a hit, let alone something for her to dodge. Rolling pin lady turns around and attacks Bill. Oh, and hits him for just 1 damage. That brings him down to 7, and then, I don't know if I did hit and run last turn, but she should have run away, so I guess it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 movement. Okay, let's see if anybody can get her. So Bill will go 1, 2, 3, 4 right after her. Can he bring her down? Nope, because she dodges. That would have been enough damage too. Joan has got a knife for her again. She'll get behind her. Come on, come on. Oh, yes, that'll do it. No defense, 2 damage, 1 hit, all she needed. So because we fought 2 tokens worth of enemies this time, we get 2 drops. So we get, 1 draw from the item deck. And have a pat on the back. You have found nothing of importance on the battlefield. Thanks, guard. And our item draw is some milk. Roll a light orange die, gain hit points to self or an adjacent family member. Okay, so let's see. I guess we'll give that to Joan. She's already healing people anyway. And speaking of loot, we got treasure number 5 and 9. Let's go to the mission book to see what they give us. So 5 gives us $2 and a draw from the brown equipment deck. That's nice. And then 9 also gives us a draw from the brown equipment deck. So the $2 won't matter since we're not playing in a campaign. But the equipment deck could be something great. So let's see. First draw. Novelty Skeleton Mask. Okay, so this is 1/3 of a tan defense die. So, and it's 1/4 of my carrying limit. So it's 1/4 of 1 strength point. So kind of useless by itself, but at least it looks cool. And we also got a used hazmat shield. So that's 1/3 of a brown defense die, 1/2, 1/3 of protection against acid. So neither of these actually does anything on its own right now, but if I get other items that match, I could gain entire extra defense dice, which would be awesome. For now, this seems about right. I think the dad would have the hazmat shield. Oh, and actually, yeah, that takes a hand spot in his weapon. He's the only one who has a hand free. And then, yeah, I think Evelyn is clearly the one who would wear a skeleton mask. And to finish up this video, because this will be a multi-parter, this game takes a little while to play. Let's see, we're going to complete objective number 1. There! Evelyn points toward the door with "to the Fungin" scratched into it. We're coming for you, bro! Discard and read objective 2. Well, here, we'll at least read this one. Okay, so open the door to the basement. If we end an exploration phase with at least one family member adjacent to the door to the basement, read story 1-2. All right, let's hold off. We'll see what's behind the door in our next video.